Greetings, welcome to Jefficho Films. Today we're going to talk about a 1983 British sci-fi horror that's a father and son movie in my opinion. So let's review Xtro. The movie starts out with some creepy intro music that I like, and a family playing on their farm with the dog who gets spooked, and dad throws the stick wrong. Then a beam of light from an alien spacecraft takes Daddy. Time passes, they're living in the city now, and Tony had a bad dream. Rachel thinks that their husband left him, and she's moved on now and has a new man. And Analise, who I don't know who she is, but I would like to know more.
What's wrong?
Don't worry, Analise. It's the same thing.
Shall I talk to him?
We see a matte painting with a glowing light flying by, and it leaves the forest on fire and leaves a creature behind, pretty alien to us. Then a car drives by and hits it, and the husband and wife are spooked, so the husband gets out and investigates that, and he instantly regrets it. She calls out his name, but shouldn't have. Tony walks in on his mum and Joe banging. I mean, lock your doors if you have kids. You want to traumatize them? And who's this little cutie? They seem upset and sense the creature outside at the old house. They hear a noise briefly and investigate before locking the doors and grabbing a gun. A bit much for a noise, don't you think? But it's warranted. It gets in, it knocks her down, and I'm not going to go into great detail, but it does something to her mouth. That night, Tony is covered in blood. Was it sent to him from his dad? They call the doctor, and the doctor says none of the blood is his, and that Tony should see a psychologist. And then Analise sticks up for the kid. That accent.
May I suggest that Tony might benefit from some professional help in this area?
Oh, listen to me.
Psychologist.
Tony simply misses his father. He doesn't need thousands of expensive psychiatrists, only little time and care.
Cottage girl wakes up not feeling too good after last night's mouth rape, and her stomach is making noises, and she's ballooning up. And wow, this was not the birth of a full-grown man that I wanted to see. Yeah, I'm not going to show you a clip of that, but Sam is back. And he obviously has the knowledge of the creature because he knows where the dead guy was, because he stole his clothes, and where the woman was, because he stole the car. And he ends up calling Rachel, but he hasn't mastered talking yet.
Hello? What?
Might not want to drive around with a dead body as a passenger. Just a suggestion. Tony's having breakfast and he's playing with his snake, and Analise takes him to school, and Sam sees him. Some daytime drunk guy hits the abandoned car and discovers the dead body, and Analyse's afternoon plans is to sleep with this fucking loser who doesn't even know how to drink milk. Screw that guy.
What size? Well, what about liver?
Are you all right?
No, it's okay. I just had a pain in my leg.
Oh,
No, it's okay.
look, I'll pick Tony up.
Joe's at work taking pictures of Paula's feet because he's ahead of his time, and Rachel's told by one of the teachers that Sam picked up her son, a little running around, and she sees him. He doesn't remember anything from the last 3 years, so they bring him home. Rachel and Sam talk, and he explains the light and the abduction. And I know Sam's been gone for a while, but he's a good dad. His son's still playing Connect 4 with him, even though Sam's clearly won twice already. I think Sam and Joe knew each other because the tensions are there between the two of them. And Sam ends up eating some of Harry the Snake's eggs. Tony sees this and he runs off. I mean, it's weird, but that's a bit of an overreaction. Rachel and Joe go looking for him, and Sam finds Tony and explains.
I'm not the same as before. I went to another world. I had to be changed so I could live there.
Why did you come back?
I came back for you.
And Mum?
Of course.
He sucks on Tony's shoulders and infects him with something. And then the four adults have dinner and calmly discuss their dilemma.
Rachel and I are going to get married.
Oh, great!
Thank you.
I'm so happy for you.
You crazy maniac. You're out of your fucking mind!
Tony has some new telekinesis abilities, and Harry heads into the annoying lady's apartment downstairs and falls in a salad, and she ends up killing it and returns it. Well, she's gonna die. Sam says no to Tony's dark thoughts, and then he goes and sleeps on the couch. Also, I think he breathes in gas now. Tony is learning his imagination can come to life. Or he's fucking crazy, but no, it's got some real world ramifications. So his giant G.I. Joe action figure goes downstairs, and he ends up killing that lady because of her love of chocolate. The next day, Sam's looking through some old photos, and Rachel's doing some laundry and finds a picture of the girl from the car and some money. Sam says he doesn't know who that is, but they decide they're going to go to the cottage because that's the last place he remembers. Joe continues to be upset.
Can't you feel any sympathy?
No.
Joe, is this okay?
Let's take a look.
Hello, Rachel. Don't you like it?
I think the blue one's better, Paula.
And the lovely Analise is sneaking in her loser boyfriend while she's supposed to be babysitting. She gets naked but then is dragged into a game of hide and seek with Tony.
Can we play hide and seek now?
I got a little headache. Later on, perhaps.
I think we should play now.
Who's getting pretty creepy, and he gets his clown to knock her out while the boyfriend's just lying in bed, smoking a cigarette. Go kill that guy. Tony sucks on Analise like his father did to him. And then the boyfriend gets out, and he's getting shot at by a toy tank until he sees her in the bathroom in a cocoon. And then a random panther appears and presumably kills him. Sam and Rachel get to the cottage and look around. Then they sit by the fire, drink some wine, kiss. Sam's hair and scalp are starting to fall off a bit. Analise seems to be doing well, as she's cocooned giving birth to eggs, I assume. And then the super gets a call, and he gets killed by a toy to the neck.
Stop messing about. One of your practical jokes, I suppose.
Joe figures out that the picture of the girl that was in Sam's jacket is the girl that's dead, and then he tries to call, but Sam killed the phones. He goes outside, Tony's just sitting there waiting for him, so he takes it to the cottage. Sam climbs in bed with a sleeping Rachel, and then he makes love to her, and Tony can hear this, and he smiles. That's fucking creepy. Sam's body's falling apart now, but I think he managed to impregnate her before he gets up and gets dressed. Joe shows up and finds Rachel, but Sam's got the kid, and they're heading off, so they chase after him until Sam stops him by making Joe's mind bleed with his mind. Rachel follows as they're heading towards the light, and Sam is full creepy alien now, and Tony is well on his way. And they disappear and head off, leaving her all alone in the field. Later she returns to the apartment. It's bright, and the panther's still there, and the eggs, and she picks one up, and it bursts, and face rapes her. The end. This is fucking weird. There is a lot to like about this. I thought the acting was believable, some of the effects were underused, but actually looked pretty good. None of the spaceship was crap, but it really didn't matter for story purposes. I wish we saw flashes of what happened to Sam, how they abducted him and the changes that they did to his body to adjust him to their atmosphere, because he obviously had to adjust back to this atmosphere, and his desire to go back and get his son. I like the relationship with his wife, to her having moved on but now unsure and was still interested in him. It's a little rushed at the end with the writing though. Could have done more with Joe too. I mean, his model was a bit flirty, so she could have tried to have tempted him, and he's all jealous with Rachel and Sam, but could still just be like a good guy and not cheat on her. He went out kind of weird though. This movie could have used a bit more action. Not 100% sure what their side mission was, I guess to create more aliens on Earth, and disappointing that they took out Analise in the end. They could have done a lot more with her, really built her up and still kept the same fate intact, and it would have meant more. I'd say the negative part was the imagination being brought to life with the clown, the toys, the panther. Like, they had very little to do with the story. They probably should have just stayed centered on the characters, because the relationships were the heart of the story.
You'll be able to do lots of things. Don't be frightened. Use it when you need it.
What for?
Well, you'll know when the time comes. You'll feel it.
It would have been better to see Tony changing and doing stuff rather than through proxy, and his relationship with Analise and his feelings towards her would have made more sense if he was upset about her having some loser boyfriend. Same with Sam and Rachel. We got a lot of glimpses of that, as Sam was still inside of there, but in the end, he just left her. The cover's kind of cool, and now I'm interested to see the other two. I doubt they'll have any like provoking thoughts that this one almost had, but you know, they'll be worth some entertainment. In the end, I say check it out because this had a lot of influences that this took from, but it also had some things that were taken from it. So, kind of interesting, messed up movie. As always, thanks for watching.